Appropriations.
That's nice.
Would you join him?
He's accused me of, he has sexualized me on his show. He has sexually harassed me on his show. He has engaged in horrific, sexually exploitative
That's
rhetoric.
not true, Congresswoman.
It is true. It is true because he accused me of wanting to quote unquote sleep with Stephen Miller. So why don't you tell me what you think is acceptable to tell a woman? Thank you.
AOC gave the perfect reply to Jesse Waters' lackey when asked if she would appear on his Fox News show. Here's just a brief look at some of the harassment she's dealt with from Waters directly.
Do you think that MAGA men are insulted by AOC?
No, I think AOC wants to sleep with Miller. It is so obvious, and I'm sorry, you can't have him. Miller is the best. AOC may have someone that's taller like Gavin, or someone has more distinguished characteristics like Adam Schiff, the senator, who talks like this, or someone with more wealth like Soros the Younger. But those men are not brave men. Those men did not protect the country when the country needed it.
You look very beautiful in that dress. You look very sexy. Look at that booty on AOC. That's my favorite big booty Latina.
Why don't you do a little selfie?
I love it. My favorite AOC. Nice to meet you, AOC. Look how sexy she looks in that dress. Woo, I love it, AOC. Hot, hot, hot like a tamale.
First of all, you can't do that. That's just not a classy thing to do. We can't have provocateurs on either side harassing women while they go to work. And you can't be harassing men when they go to work either. I am not a piece of meat. And AOC is not a hot tamale. And she's not a taco, as Jill Biden says. She is a human being.
And let's not forget about this either.
When I was trying to get Emma to date me, first thing I did, let the air out of her tires. She couldn't go anywhere. She needed a lift. I said, hey, you need a lift? She hopped right in the car.
Does she know this story?
No, she doesn't know the story.
Does she watch your show?
Jesse Jr. does.
You're
basically the Zodiac killer.
It has a happy ending.
Really? Yes, we're married. Did you really do that?
Is that the first time you did it, or did you use that before?
It works like a charm.
That should tell you everything you need to know about Waters' personality and how he views women. So it's not surprising whatsoever that this is how he's reacting to the senseless, tragic killing of Renee Good in Minneapolis.
These poor women who are getting hurt at ICE protests have been brainwashed. They're being led like lambs to the slaughter to protect illegals so Democrats can stay in office and get rich off welfare money laundering. They're hunting fraud and deporting illegals. Clearly, these operations have become too dangerous. Therefore, ICE has to go harder in order to protect the lives of law enforcement and the lives of these agitators. They're sitting ducks out there. And when they don't have any help from the locals, it's chaos and people get hurt. What they need to do is start quarantining blocks, set up a perimeter, go in heavy, door to door, apartment to apartment, you check IDs, and you put everybody that doesn't belong in this country on a bus and roll them out.
These statements from AOC and Jesse Waters couldn't be further apart. On one hand, you have AOC giving a heartfelt statement about what happened to Renee Good. You know, how it's a tragedy. It should have never happened. And then also calling out ICE directly and how they're free to do whatever they want, you know, right? Given Trump's administration, his regime, and what he wants to be put in place. But they need to be held accountable.
It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. This is what we've been warning about for a very long time. From the moment that this Congress decided to authorize and explode ICE's budget, they are accountable to no one. It's important that people know that ICE has less accountability than virtually any law enforcement agency in the United States. And yet they are some of the most well-funded. They are operating with impunity. And we just saw the murder of an American citizen in cold blood in the street. And despite whatever lies that the president wants to say about what was happening in this, you can see what happened for yourselves. They shot a woman in the head in cold blood on the street. I hope that this incident is prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, and this is an agency that must be reined in. What we have now seen and what we are seeing is that ICE is not just becoming an anti-immigrant force in this country, it is becoming an anti-civilian paramilitary organization. People are getting taken off of the streets for exercising their free speech rights. The president himself has asserted that, in fact, one of the reasons that this murder may have been quote unquote justified is on free speech grounds. So this is now turned into what our greatest fear is and has been for a long time around ICE, that this will be used as an anti-civilian force, that it has no accountability. At the end of the day, what we saw today is a murder. And murders in cold blood need to be prosecuted.
And I loved her line about, they become, they're not just anti-illegal immigrant, they are anti-civilian. It's clear. With Waters, his commentary is littered with underlying bigotry and appeals to authoritarianism. Okay? And so I hope that the ICE officer who killed Renee Good, Jonathan Ross, after shooting her, I hope he's brought to justice. Okay? I really do. I hope that we have a fair process and it's not tainted by anything that the Trump administration is trying to do. I really hope. I don't know if that's going to happen, but this is really bad. And this is not like the first time ICE has done something like this. It's happened to people of different races, right? Communities. And just so happened this one is caught on video, right? We're living in a sick world, people. Just a sick world.
There's a part of me that feels very, very sad for this woman, not just because she lost her life, but because I think she is a victim of left-wing ideology. What young mother shows up and decides they're going to throw their car in front of ICE officers who are enforcing legitimate law? You've got to be a little brainwashed to get to that point to where you're willing not just to protest, that's fine, not peacefully protest, but throw your vehicle in front of legitimate law enforcement officers and drive your car into them. To get to that point, you have to be, I think, radicalized in a very, very sad way. Look, I would appreciate everybody saying a prayer for that agent. He deserves a debt of gratitude, and I think the media prejudging and talking about this guy as if he's a murderer is one of the most disgraceful things I've ever seen from the American media.
The bottom line is this: when a federal officer gives you instructions, you abide by them, and then you get to keep your life. And it is clear that she tried to use her vehicle as a weapon, mow over an ICE agent, and now she is dead. And her death is tragic, but at the end of the day, it was completely avoidable if she would have simply followed the commands of the ICE agents.
The left believes they can do anything they want, and we're just supposed to sit down and take it. It's time for Americans to say enough, and if you get in the way of the government repelling a foreign invasion, you're going to end up just like that lady did.
The implications of having the vice president and sitting congresspeople making these sorts of justifications for the death of a U.S. citizen at the hands of the state makes us a laughable country. It is absurd that they have the audacity to say this out loud and not feel any remorse, not feel shame for saying such ridiculous statements that paint this woman as something that she was not. Like, we've lost all credibility with our government officials. There's no integrity. There's no dignity. Man.
To all ICE officers, you have federal immunity in the conduct of your duties. And anybody who lays a hand on you or tries to stop you or tries to obstruct you is committing a felony. You have immunity to perform your duties, and no one, no city official, no state official, no illegal alien, no leftist agitator or domestic insurrectionist can prevent you from fulfilling your legal obligations and duties. And the Department of Justice has made clear that if officials cross that line into obstruction, into criminal conspiracy against the United States or against ICE officers, then they will face justice.
Renee Good's death, along with everyone else who has died at the hands of federal agents, is the direct result of Trump administration's actions, as well as, because I'm not going to let them off the hook, as well as the Democrats who don't fight hard enough to rein in this rogue agency when they could have. Just, oh, we got to play by the rules. We can't do anything. No. Show a backbone. Show a spine. Show that you have courage. People elected you so that you could be a voice for them, that you could stand up for them. But instead, it's just so much passive actions from a lot of them and the leaders. This could have been prevented. We didn't have to see this. So many people, innocent people, so many civilians, American citizens being killed by federal agents. But yet here we are. If only 2016 could have been something different. If we didn't elect Trump in 2016, and I'm talking about the American people because that's what we did as a collective, then we wouldn't be here. But no. Rebel HQ, I'm Chris Williamson. We'll see you next time.